Meanwhile, back to the playoffs. The Pacers were oh so close to going up one Saturday, but no dice. Falling to the defending champs 109-108 as C.J. Miles' shot didn't fall at the buzzer. Paul George wasn't happy with the final sequence. LeBron, however, he was cool with it.
I talked to C.J. about it. Situations like that, I got to get the last shot. C.J., took it upon himself. I'm confident with all my guys taking shots. That's not the issue. But in that situation right there, I got to get that.
I can only speak for myself. I mean, if I get doubled, I'm giving it up. That's me. I don't know how everybody else feel about that, but I mean, if you get doubled, it's I think we all know math in here. If there's two guys on the ball, then I mean, it's a 4-on-3. You have your numbers, so the best player on the floor doesn't mean he has to take the shot. And I think he made the right play, and he live with the results.
Now, I want you to keep this in mind. Paul George hasn't had much success in those situations. He's 0 for 15 on go-ahead shots with under 20 seconds left. Max, that is the money stat of the day. Would you characterize this game as a bad Cavs win or good Pacers loss?
Bad Cavs win. You can't have a good Pacers loss here when you have a shot to win the game on the road, take home court from the best team in the East. Forget about who's seated where. And you lose, that ain't a good loss. There's no moral victory there for the Pacers. Maybe after the series is over, they can take away some moral victories. But they got no shot in this series. If you have a chance to win, you got to win. It's a bad Cavs win. Why is it a bad Cavs win? Well, let's start with the fact that they won because C.J. Miles missed a shot. If he hits that shot, they lose. That has nothing to do with them. He had a good look, and he missed it. And first of all, just backing up 1 second, just to respond to that sound, then I'll continue. Paul George saying that he needs to have that last shot. Dude, there's 4 seconds left. Now you want him to get plenty of time to get it back to Paul George. In the moment, you don't know that. If you have a good look, you're supposed to shoot the ball. I don't like the comment from Paul George. I don't know if he needs to say that to show that he's a leader, but I think that's bad. I think it does undermine confidence in his teammates. I think LeBron has that right. But getting back to the bad Cavs win, so not only are they lucky C.J. Miles happens to miss the shot, but where's the switch? I mean, I keep bringing up the Lakers in 10-11 when people were talking about, they'll flip the switch in the playoffs. There was no switch. Tank was on empty when they tried that. They've been to 3 straight finals. They were gassed. And LeBron has played too many minutes this year, and everyone's saying, he's resting too much. He didn't rest enough. There's no defense played on this team. Their offense is really good, and LeBron offensively in the first half and throughout the game was amazing, of course. But where's the defense? So the Cavs play no defense and should have lost. I mean, only by the grace of C.J. Miles missing the shot in the end did they win. That's a bad win for the Cavs at home.
A couple of things I want to say. I believe, like everybody else, that LeBron James is the greatest player in the world. I think that he's a good person. I think that he's a great basketball ambassador. But I don't want to hear from LeBron James about last shots because we all know that he doesn't have a penchant for wanting to take them. That's why wherever he goes, there usually is a closer, whether it be Dwayne Wade or Kyrie Irving.
But that's what you said. The best guy on the floor doesn't have to take the final shot.
That's my point. So in other words, what I'm saying is him saying that, what else would he say? Because he is the best player in the floor, night in and night out, and very rarely does he find himself taking the last shot. Of course LeBron James would say that. That's like saying the sky is blue. Duh, we know how you feel about the last shot, even though he's the best player in the world. Now let's get back to whether it was a bad win or it was a good loss. I think it was a good loss on the part of the Pacers. I understand where Max is coming from. Max, all your points are valid. Here's my issue. When I think about Paul George, I think about the 29 points on just 19 shots. I don't like him complaining about C.J. Miles. That's not the way to go. But he was right in what he said in terms of I gave him the ball, and he ran right to him to get the ball back. That's what he wanted to do to find himself in a better position.
C.J. Miles ran away.
Last shot. I understand that. So my point is, now he just ran away from him. Paul George didn't run away. C.J. Miles ran away. Then we got to look at the other players, Max. We got a Jeff Teague that shot 3 of 10 from the field. We've got a Thaddeus Young that only attempted 4 shots. We got a Monte Ellis that only attempted 8 shots and hit 4 of them. Lance Steven gave you 16 off the bench. But I guess what I'm saying is when you look at some of the requisite parts around them, particularly how they've fallen under the radar this year, particularly what you don't expect from them, because these ain't the Indiana Pacers of old. And it took this for LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers to win this game by the skin of their teeth. Even though a loss is a loss and we don't anticipate them to win this series, if you're the Indiana Pacers, you're sitting here and you're saying exactly what you said, Max. We make the shot, we win the game. We could beat these guys. If you're Paul George, you're saying, had you given me the damn ball back, CJ, we would have won the game. Not to say that that's a fact, a point of fact, because we don't know. But the fact that you got a star with his capability in a position to win that game that didn't have the ball in his hands at that pivotal moment, I say to myself, that's a good situation for the Indiana Pacers to be in. If it was in Indy, Max, your point would be even more valid. But the fact that it was on the road in Cleveland, in a game they were never expected to compete in, let alone win, and find themselves in this situation, I think the potential is there to make it interesting. And I would like to see what Paul George does. Because remember, Max, he's trying to sit up there and put the world on notice that he's willing to leave Indy and he deserves to be the face of the Lakers or somebody in a major market. Remember that.
They gotta win one on the road since they don't have home court in order to win the series. This was the one. I mean, come on, this is the one. A look to win it at the end of the game. This is the one. I want to address what you said about LeBron not wanting to take the last shot. This is what LeBron said at the press conference. This is something I think people get wrong about LeBron. Look, the greatest difficult shot maker you've ever seen was who, Stephen A? Kobe or Jordan, right? We're thinking about guys like that are great at making impossible shots. LeBron is not as good at that because LeBron's not trying to make impossible shots. LeBron's looking for someone else to make a high percentage shot. So while guys like Kobe give you the impression that they're better closers, in fact, what you will find is that LeBron James teams work more efficiently towards the end of games, meaning the team is better towards the end of games. It's not that he shies away from that moment. He's saying if there's one guy on me, I'm taking the shot. Well, if there's two, there's someone open.
Well, here's why I think you're wrong. Because you're looking at what he said based on his championship resume, what he's done in recent memory. What I'm doing is piggybacking back to the LeBron James we've always known. Remember that guy that a championship kept eluding? Remember the guy that would sit up there and launch fall-away jump shots rather than take his 6'9", 260-pound self to the hole because he was reluctant to go to the free throw line? I'm saying to you, when I make a statement like that, I've seen LeBron James mature. I've seen him evolve. I've seen him become the superstar that he's worthy of being. But we can't forget who we innately are from time to time. His willingness to play the right way, while he should be absolutely positively applauded for it, Max, what you can't ignore was the fact that even you recognized earlier on there was a fear factor due to an inability to basically make those shots, which is why we would say when we're comparing the greatest small forwards ever, some people would pick Larry Bird. You know Larry Bird wasn't on LeBron's level as an athlete over the course of 82 games, but in those last 2 minutes, you wanted the ball in Bird's hands before you'd ever think about giving it to LeBron because of his inability to make shots.
Larry Bird's one of the greatest players ever. I'd rather have LeBron James at all times than Larry Bird.
Time out.
And by the way, you're right.
Answer that question. Answer that question. I said the last 2 minutes.
LeBron.
Last 2 minutes.
I always want. No.
Last 2 minutes?
If you're saying who shoots the three better under pressure, I'd rather have Larry Bird shooting a three.
Max.
Give me LeBron James.
Time out. I'm asking you a direct question. In the last 2 minutes.
And I'm answering.
Who do you want the ball in the hands?
Said LeBron.
LeBron James, because the ball's going to be in his hands until someone else is open. If they are, he's going to get it to them. If they're not, he's going to score, and his team's going to win.
And Bird never had the ability to get the ball to somebody else?
Look, Bird is a bad dude. I'm not going to say anything against Larry Bird.
Who could shoot?
We got to leave there.
No doubt.
LeBron's now 12-0
the time to kill LeBron about this was
games.
7 years ago.
Game 2. Tonight, fellas. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to that. Coming up, we've already heard the names of several Patriots players who won't be attending the White House after winning the Super Bowl, but now we've heard a few of them explain exactly why they won't be visiting. We'll get into that. Plus, the Knicks made a big mess even messier this weekend. Phil Jackson telling the media that Melo would be best suited in another uniform, and Porzingis is apparently going AWOL. We'll be trying to solve those problems a little